Should I be concerned with a shadow on an X-ray at the root?
Welcome to JustAnswer, and thank you for putting your trust in me. The significance of a shadow at the tip of a root on an X-ray needs to be considered in context. A shadow, or radiolucency, indicates an absence of bone at the tip of a tooth root. This absence of bone is not a normal condition, because normally the bone is closely opposed to all root surfaces, separated only by a very thin layer of connective tissue, the periodontal ligament, which connects the root to the bone. If the bone at the root tip is damaged by disease, for example, an acute or chronic infection, a reactive inflammatory lesion, granuloma, a cyst, or an odontogenic tumor, this will show up as a radiolucency, or shadow. It should be mentioned that occasionally, normal anatomic structures in the jaws, such as the sinuses, or openings in the jaw that convey nerves and blood vessels foramina may be mistaken for abnormalities, so, depending on its appearance, a radiolucency may indicate the presence of disease. However, radiolucencies can occasionally reflect prior disease rather than active disease. For example, the bone around a previously infected tooth can be successfully treated with root canal, allowing the infection to heal. However, the bone cavitation that previously formed during the active infection does not always fill with bone during the healing process. Sometimes that cavity fills with scar tissue, which is harmless, but can sometimes be mistaken for active infection on X-ray. Therefore, the interpretation of an X-ray that shows a shadow sometimes needs to be made in comparison to prior X-rays, because any changes of that shadow over time are important in assessing the significance of the X-ray finding. If the nature of a shadow on X-ray is uncertain, a dentist may assume a watchful waiting posture, rather than implementing any treatment, if there are no other symptoms to indicate the presence of active disease. Hope this helps.
If you have a health question and want to chat with a doctor now, visit justanswer.com/ythealth.